What's up, guys? This is Ramina. Welcome to another Dragon Quest X video. Unfortunately, I have to remake this part of my beast hunting series, part 3, due to an error on my parts. With the original video, it was all good and fine, but I used footage from back in May of a Cell Dragon fight with my friends, just to show you how to fight the dragon. And that was before July 8th of 2021, before we had the recording icon and had to be in server 21 or 22 to record. And although any YouTube videos that are on YouTube before July 8th, 2021 are fair game, you still can't use footage in new videos after that date. So in order to comply with the Dragon Quest X terms of service, I've had to delete that video and the bonus video, because I don't know what came over me in the bonus video where I show you how to survive as a priest by yourself before the party gets there. I didn't have the recording icon on. And honestly, I didn't think it mattered because I was in a dungeon instance. I wasn't like in the actual game world with other people, but I looked up in the rule, the fine print and all that, and it's not allowed. So in hindsight, that video was unnecessary. I could have just explained it in part 3 how to do it, and I will explain it in this video, like what you should do to survive and how much agility you need for the auto revives, and where to stand and where not to stand, and you know, like how to just to stay alive. Didn't need to show it, but I do regret deleting part 4 because I did spend about 1 million gold with creating protect infusers, which cost like 5 big cells each, and protect coins and what, and like some other crafting material, I think like orichalcum or something, I forget. But anyway, or I forget what platinum ore, I forget what the last one is, but it's not that expensive. But with part 3, and also in hindsight, the information I was giving, the knowledge I was sharing was good, but at that point in time when I made that video, I hadn't hunted in like about a month or so, and I wasn't up to date with the meta. And you know, the fights have evolved. Like now people use Tamer and the ghost fight and all that, and there's different strategies and a lot of stuff I left out in that video. And plus in this video I'm deciding to, instead of showing footage, which I really can't, because either I spend, you know, I mean, I could buy 30 big cells and sell them back for the money I spent, but the money I spend on the protection infusers, that's around 1 million gold for 3 fights times, so 3 times 5 big cells is around 1 million gold. And I didn't feel like wasting another 1 million gold on this, and either that or I get lucky and get a ghost, a mole, and a dragon on server 21 and 22 with a recording icon on, and I'm not doing that. So instead I'm just going to link, I'm going to explain the fights. This is an English guide, so I'm going to explain the fights in depth, and I will link a video for each fights from a Japanese player on YouTube. I'll put their videos in the description for you guys to watch. Just, you know, like their video, subscribe or whatever. I'm not sure if I can actually like watch their videos in this video and like commentate over it with like fair use. I'm not gonna go into those deep waters there. I'm gonna just explain the fights, show you the all their skills and all the resistances you need on this website here. So once again, I'm sorry I had to remake this video and delete part 4, the bonus part, but I just don't want to get in trouble with my account. I don't think you can get banned for that, but I don't want to find out what happened. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, let's start off with the Ghost. Now this is the easiest beast fight, so let's talk about what he drops. He drops 25 fragments, 45, and 1 full crystal. Fragments are the crystal fragments, bright crystal fragments, and you need 99 of them to get a full crystal. But there's a chance you'll drop a full crystal, which is actually pretty generous. This is the beast that I've dropped the most full crystals from. So ghosts are, even though the drops are pretty low for the fragments, it's always a chance of a full, so that's great. Technically, they're the best in terms of making money. But anyway, let's talk about the resistances you need for the ghost fight. Definitely want to have 100% curse guard. For me, I have 100% on my priest, but when I'm a ranger or whatever else, I only have 92%. It's really just a bump in the road if you get cursed as a ranger or like attack class. It's just a minor inconvenience, but I'd still recommend other people get 100%. But I mean, I just don't see the point in spending all that extra gold for something that's not going to lose you the fight. It's just a minor inconvenience, but I guess I'm just being lazy. But I think it's really only really important as a priest, because you know you could get screwed over if they remove your auto revive or something, or I don't know, and you got curse on you. But you want to have 100% paralysis, because one of his attacks will put paralyze on you. Spell damage reduction is important because he has a really powerful ice move, but other than that, he only has one spell, and as long as you have magic barrier ×2, you should be able to survive it. So let's talk about his skills. So Cry of the Ghost is a single target one, does dark damage, 500 dark damage, and curses the single unit. So let's go into the game, and I'll show you the animations for that skill. And the ghost is in the element family. It's not actually a ghost. I call it a ghost because it looks like one, but I believe it's just like a kind of like a just a force of nature. I don't know. Bright Beast Ghost. Okay, this is the one that skill right there. If you see that he's doing that. Let's go back to the browser. Now, it doesn't say it here, but I believe, I mean, it's a single target attack, but I think if someone's right next to you, they could get hit by it too. Don't quote me on that 100%, but I'm pretty sure I've seen that before. Mahal, whatever you pronounce this, probably a bad Google translation. That is the ice skill, ice spell. Just have magic barrier ×2 and a little bit of spell damage reduction, and you should be good. And I'll show you the animation in game. And I think this one shares This animation shares two different skills, and that's the ice one, I believe. You'll know it's the ice one if you see a blue aura under him. Now, if you don't see any aura or anything, he's doing Disruptive Wave. So let's go back to the browser, and Cloud of Commandments. This is the one that makes you fall to the ground. This is why you want. Sorry, not fall to the ground. This is the one that paralyzes you. Does 400 damage. It's like it kind of looks like the Cry of the Ghost, but it's like instead of being a single target attack, it's an AOE attack. That one doesn't do as much damage, but it does paralyze you. So that's why you want 100% paralysis guard on your pants, for sure. There's no getting around that one. How about it? I believe that is. I think that's Disruptive Wave. Yeah, that's Disruptive Wave for sure. I recognize that that Japanese text right there. And they don't list the normal text for some reason. Now. Party setup. The party setup is going to be now. Let me talk party setup for all three beasts right here. So, all three fights, they obviously have a priest for all three because you can't really get the battles without being a priest. Ranger is for all three fights as well. Magic Warrior, all three fights. Tamer is for the Ghost and Dragon, and then really the only difference in all the fights, it's just, the mole, you need a Demon Swordsman. So, going forward, I'm not going to be explaining the party formations. So, Tamer, basically Tamer, Ranger, Magic Warrior, Priest for everything except for Mole, where you bring a Demon Swordsman, Ranger, Magic Warrior, and Priest. Now, let me go get a little more technical here of why you bring these classes. So, Priest, obvious, you know, to keep everybody alive, get the fight, keep everyone alive. Put Kirapun on someone if they don't have the necessary resistances. Another reason why I don't do full Curse Guard on Ranger and all that is because they can just put Kirapun on me, and I'm cheap. But if it helps anything, I do have 100% Curse Guard on my Priest for hunting with my Dark Resistance jackets, and I also have literally 100% on my everyday, you know, offline AI equipment. And I will have a card. I don't know. I forget if I mentioned this already, but I will have a card on the screen for part 1 of my hunting video, a series where I explain everything, my recommendations for what gear and what, you know, classes you need and all that. So let me get a little more technical here. So weapon skill list. I'm going to explain why we bring a Magic Warrior. So let's go to bow and arrow. There's a certain attack called Darkness Shot. And this is what it looks like in Japanese. 150 points skill. Don't worry about the actual, you know, dark damage or whatever. The only reason the Magic Warriors use this is because it reduces the... I think it has a chance to put a debuff on the ghost that reduces its light resistance. And then the Magic Warrior will use one of its elemental buffs to boost the light elemental attack of all the party members. And so everyone's going to be... Basically, you give the ghost a weakness and everyone can exploit it with the Magic Warrior. And they use Force Break, obviously. And there's also another skill, the CT skill. It's like that green one where it makes everyone get their CT skills faster. So make sure to have that as a Magic Warrior. And then go ham with the other attacks. And also, I don't think it's necessary to go over this in this video, but for people that don't really, like newer people or inexperienced people or anyone that just didn't know, a good strategy for a Magic Warrior is, I mean, you have this one powerful spell, one of the most powerful spells in the game, which is Magic Burst or Magente or whatever you pronounce in Japanese. That one will basically use all of your MP to do you basically explode your MP, and you can do a ton of damage with this, but you lose all your MP when you use the skill. And it's a CT skill, so it takes a bit of time to charge up. If you get your coup de grace, you want to use that first, and then the next thing you do, you'll get all your MP. You'll restore your MP and everyone else's MP right away, and then the next skill you do, you'll restore your MP again. So do the coup de grace, the special blue, you know, skill that pops up. Do that one, and then follow up with Magic Burst, and then you'll get all your MP back. So it's really good to do that. And you'll just do so much damage with that spell. Now with the Ranger, for all 3 battles, you take advantage of that one boomerang CT skill. It's like a double, you know, slice, you know, boomerang a skill, and it leaves this blue frown face debuff on the boss and makes them more susceptible to debuffs. Other than that, there's 3 different attacks skills that can put a debuff on the enemy that makes their defense 0. The Wolf skill, the Red Aura Wolf skill, the Boomerang Slicer skill that does a lot of damage, and then the Claw move where you do like a backflip. That one's those are very important for Ranger, and that's mainly why they bring Ranger for all 3 beast fights. For the Dragon, they're essential for the breath buff, but I'll get into that later. Now the reason they bring Tamer is because they do a lot of damage. And yeah, And I think another reason why, I mean, they used to bring Battle Master because Battle Masters can use Plasma Blade to make the ghost weak to fire, and then the Magic Warrior will, you know, do the fire elemental thing. But now that people, Tamers are the norm, the Magic Warrior can use Darkness Shot to make them. I already explained this. And I think that's pretty much it for the ghost in terms of the formation, like party formation. I think I explained all that. Now, when you get the ghost by yourself as a priest, when the battle starts and everyone leaves to go back to town and change jobs and come back, you want to first put on auto revive to not die and lose the fights. And you want to run away from the ghost, like this. Not literally run away from the battle because you can't, because it's a red ring. You can't skip that kind of battle, but you want to just run away from it. Kite it around, which just means just keep a distance. So the ghost is incredibly slow. He just hovers around very slowly, and yeah, he's pretty slow. What else more to say? Just be careful he doesn't disruptive wave you, and just always be ready for that, and then put your auto revive back on, and that's pretty much the ghost. Just in case I forgot to show, I'm just talking really quick. I don't want this video to be an hour long. Let's go back into the game, and I'll just show you the. Yeah, I showed you the animations. I'm pretty sure. Maybe did I? Yeah, that's the storm one. That's Disruptive Wave and the Ice Spell. That is a single target dark move. This is that's the storm move. Okay, let's move on to the mole now. Back to the browser. Back out of this. And I forgot to show you. This is what the lights reduced light damage resistance debuff looks like. All right, let's go back into this. Back out of that. Let's switch to the mole. Now the mole is a bit scarier than the ghost. The mole, well, let's talk about his drops. So he could drop 33 fragments, 57, and 1 full. Bit of a step up from the ghost, but not by much. Let's talk about his the resistances you need. Fall Guard, obviously. I mean, this is the only real resistance you need. It doesn't show it here, but you also want to bring some Earth resistance, and I would recommend just maxing out the Master Orb / Gem, and then I would definitely recommend if you have the money, you have the gold, purchase 3-star Dark Tart meals. Those boost your Earth resistance so you can survive his AoEs. That's really all that anyone expects, is that you can survive the AoEs. That one main AoE that can make you fall on the ground. But now let's talk about his skills. So Remorse, this one I'm not 100 billion% sure what this one is. I think this is when he runs up to you and smacks you, and a lot of times that one crits, a lot of times it misses. I think it's one of those attacks where it's a hit or miss critical attack. So he'll always, if you're far away, he'll always do this one. So yeah, let's switch into the game and I'll show you the animations. Let's go to the mole. He's under the beast family. Bright beast mole. Okay, that's Remorse, I think. So he'll run up to you and use that. Let's go back into. It's also his normal attack, I think, as well. Ringing Earth. This is the one I just mentioned earlier with the AoE that you need to survive this one every time. Does 800 damage, Earth damage, and causes you to fall. This is why you need 100% Fall Guard. And you get that on your boots. You get some from your Master Orbs as well. Now, what was I gonna say? Brain farts. Okay, let's hold that thought for a second. Let's go to the next one. Oh no, I gotta show you the animation. Sorry. Now this animation is used for 2 different attacks. That's the AoE. And then it's also used for this one, his deadliest move. It's the Earth Splash right here. This one does 1000 Earth damage times 2 in a straight line. Now, you can go crazy and get a ton of Earth resistance and face tank this move, which is nice, but I don't personally stack all that Earth resistance. I have some of my, as a priest, I have it. I have some on my chest along with dark resistance. In case I get a dragon, in case I get a ghost or a mole, I'm always ready with that jacket. And I have the Master Orb for Earth resistance. That's more important than, I wouldn't bother with the Master Orb for dark resistance for the ghost, but you definitely want to have that Master Orb maxed out in the dark tarts. But for priest, you don't need food or any of that. You could just use phalanx or whatever for damage reduction. But whatever. Plus, you have ammo matter and all that. Auto revive. But, yeah, so that one, just get out of the way. Like, you don't need to stack all that Earth resistance. It's not really, just as long as you can recognize that move and get out of the way. And it does share the same, it shares, the animation shares 2 different skills, but for the Ringing Earth one, he doesn't have any aura around him, but the Earth Splash, like, you'll see like a yellow circle in front of him, like he'll be charging it up, you'll know he's doing it. Okay, next one, Samba of the Earth Dragon, and this one right here, that those use the same animations. Let me show you in game. This is those ones right here. Samba of the Earth Dragon is his buff, where he gets double attack power, dodge rate up, which is the little green guy icon, and tension burn. The Demon Swordsman, the reason why people bring a Demon Swordsman is for Disruptive Wave. Now before, the Ranger can do it with Goldfinger with Claws equipped, but that move is slow. But with the Demon Swordsman, the Ranger doesn't have to always switch to Claws to get rid of that. They can just do it right away. It's fast, and I'm pretty sure that's why people bring Demon Swordsman, aside from them being OP. And then the I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this. This one is a move where he does 3 yellow circles on the ground that do 750 damage each. This one you can also tank if you have a lot of Earth resistance, and a cheap way to get a lot of Earth resistance is if you buy like a low level shield, like a magic shield with a ton of Earth resistance on it for like a couple million gold or something. If you want to get an end game shield, you're going to be spending like 10 million gold for that. Times 3 was like 30 to 30 million gold. But I digress. That's also an easy move to get out of the way of, so don't worry about that. As long as you can survive Ringing Earth every time, then you're good. Now let's talk about the party setup for this. I already talked. So yeah, Priest, Ranger, Magic Warrior, Tamer. Not Tamer. Demon Swordsman. Now, Demon Swordsman. Let's bring up occupation skills. I have this all ready here, and let's highlight Dark Matter. This is like Demon Swordsman's debatably most powerful move. It's the one where they smash the ground. That dark circle happens, and AOE. This one has I'm not sure if it's a chance, but it puts a debuff on the enemy, which lowers their darkness resistance by 50% for 40 seconds, and that move, it'll look like this. Now it doesn't say it in here. This isn't up to date, in terms of like what skills or spells or do what debuff or buff, but it's definitely this one right here. And then once the Demon Swordsman does that, I think at the start of every battle, the Magic Warrior should use the buff, but the buff I'm about to talk about is the Elemental attack buff for the Magic Warrior. For obviously, you want to raise everyone's Dark attack, and then the Demon Swordsman will make the mole susceptible to Dark attack, so that helps the battle go a lot quicker. Ranger, not much to talk about. Just make sure to do your debuffs with the boomerang and whatever. I just explained Magic Warrior, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the mole in terms of the party. Now, the mole, surviving the mole by yourself is a lot scarier than the ghost. Debatably more scarier than the dragon at times. So unlike the ghost, you want to stay close to the mole, because if you run away from him in between auto revives, like when you have the death buff on, you're trying to get the auto revive, he's gonna always run up to you and do that one, critical hit move that has a chance of missing, or he'll just do an auto or whatever. Like that move is really scary, because he'll always catch up to you really quickly unless you're like a mile away. So stay close to him, because the closer you are to the mole, the better chance that he'll do like an AoE, like a slow animation, long animation AoE. And when you keep calm and collected, in these fights, and don't move, not counting the ghost, but if you stand still and make it look like you know what you're doing, the people that see the beast, see you got the beast, they're going to think you know what you're doing, and they're going to leave and think it's a waste of time to help you lose. But a lot of people will just stay there and help you lose and be like a vulture and help you lose, and the beast will respawn and then they'll steal it from you, which sucks. So the worst thing that the mole can start off with, I think, would probably be this move right here, the Earth Splash, the one where he does 1,000 Earth damage times 2 in a straight line. If that happens, and it's happened to me before, he starts a battle like that, just cancel your auto and get out of the way, and you'll have time to put the auto revive on still. Another scary thing is when he does the one with the yellow circles on the ground. Like if he starts doing that move while you're reviving, and I'm talking about mid-revive animation, it's a very close window of him getting you with that move when your death debuff comes off. But with me, I have like around 750 agility. My death buff always wears off like a split second before I get auto. So I think it's around the same with 710 plus agility. So 750 plus for me, it's always like a split second. And that's pretty much it for the mole. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out. Let's talk about the dragon. The dragon is the hardest beast in the game, one of the hardest fights in the game in general. Sorry, I lost my... Bright Beast Dragon. Okay. So the dragon, let me just talk about this animation right here. This is one of the best things you could ever see in Dragon Quest X. This dragon, just in its idle animation, nobody fighting it, it's all by itself, minding its own business. It's there for the taking. Oh, it's eye candy. It's a sight for sore eyes, and I love looking at that. And then occasionally just walking around by itself. And I'm sorry. Couldn't help myself. This is its animation when it's walking towards you in the actual battle. And you'll see this a lot when the tamer walls the dragon. Okay, so let's talk about its drops. Let's back out here. Alright. Dragon. The dragon has slightly better drops than the mole. Drops a minimum of 45 fragments, 75, and then 1 full crystal. I think out of 68 dragons that I've killed, I've only dropped 1 or 2 full crystals, because it's just so uncommon. Let's talk about the resistances you need. You really only need spell damage reduction on your jackets and your shield if you can use a shield. Um, in terms of how much you need, maybe around. Let me see. Let me put my spell damage reduction jacket on really quick. Spell damage resistance around 50 to 60, I'd say, maybe 40, 50, it doesn't matter. There's only really one spell that you need, two spells that you need it for, and one of the spells he doesn't even use the entire fight. Let's go back to the bestiary. And I'm really sorry, I wish I could give you footage of this fight, but I don't have footage anymore. Can't use that footage for May. Doesn't have the recording icon. It wasn't on server 21 or 22, so I had to remake this video. And yeah, so let's go back to the browser. Let's talk about his skills. So normal attack does around 700 damage. That is true. Desperate Sigh, that's his breath skill. Let's go back to the game. That's the breath skill. And it's a lot longer in the in this bestiary animation. Tail attack. Don't feel like I really need to show this one, but here you go anyway. It's pretty easy to tell he's doing it. And it's a lot slower in this animation as well. A lot faster in the battle. Okay, Dragon Flash Gun. It's this one right here. He uses this animation for two different skills. One for the dragon. I call it the cannon, where he does like a straight line cannon. Kind of looks like a Kamehameha in Dragon Ball Z, sort of. That move will kill you. Same with the breath. I forgot to mention I don't know why I skimmed over breath. I'm kind of like speeding through this. I'm sorry. Breath. The breath. If you get hit by it without the breath buff, you're dead unless you get the 1 HP to go off. Even if you survive it, you're pretty much dead anyway, because you'll have your movement speed lowered, curse, all attribute resistance decrease, attack power down. Not attack power down. But as a priest, you could just remove it by yourself with that wand skill. That's nice, but you still don't want to get hit by this. That's why we bring a ranger, because the ranger has a buff called Mist Me, where they do like a misty thing, get it, and it puts the buff on everybody, and you're basically immune to breath attacks until you get hit by one, and then you gotta have the ranger put it on you again. That's imperative for this fight. It's a not like an AoE, but it's like a, what's the word? In that direction. If he uses it in that direction and people are next to you, you're gonna get hit. They're all gonna get hit. Tail attack. It's 1,000 times 1,200 damage times 2. It's very rare to survive that. I have shield guarded twice in a row, once or twice. Now the next one I'll talk about is the Godspeed, whatever it's called. It's basically the fireball attack. Now this animation is used for the wind spell and the fireballs. Fireball, this is mainly why you want to have spell damage reduction. Also for the wind spell, but mainly for the fire spell, because that one will do a lot of damage. I'm sitting here AFK and my my mount ran out of fuel. Let me fix that so it doesn't happen again. Don't think we'll be here long enough for that to happen again, but just in case. Let's go back to the bestiary. Alright. Back here. Yeah, Dragon Flash Gun, I already talked about that. Um, Ancient Sealed Buggy, this is the one that the spell damage. This is the wind spell. This one you can survive if you have a ton of spell damage resistance or guard. And the magic barrier buff ×2. Now, if you're a tamer or, magic warrior and you don't use a shield, make sure to have magic barrier ×2 and a lot of spell damage reduction on your jacket. And I think you can use the guard skill and you could survive if you have enough HP. Now he only uses this spell from 100% HP until 75%. And when he gets down to 75% or below, he'll start using the most deadliest attack in the game. Unsaved Dead Mass. Probably a bad translation. This one does 450 damage ×2. Lowers your attack. It makes your attack -2. And I'm not talking about like if you have +2 attack and just cancels it out. No, it goes from +2 to -2. If you had +2. But the part that makes it the worst is it makes it so you cannot revive for 30 seconds. And that's the most deadliest debuff in the entire game. Don't get hit by this, please. And if you do, survive it. Now let's go back into the game really quick, and I'll show you the animation for that one and the wind spell. I think I already showed you. That's the wind spell animation. It's a lot faster in the bestiary, I think. This is the unsaved, whatever, the no revive debuff. And it's a lot slower in the bestiary, I believe. Sorry, I could have just let it... I could have not done anything and it would have played again. Alright. Yeah, it's slower in the bestiary. And I apologize if I'm pronouncing that word wrong. I always just say bestiary. Okay, I think I've gone over all of his attacks now. So let's go back to the browser. Oh yeah, he has counterattacks. So if you're not familiar with what walling is when the tank or the like paladin or in this case would be the tamer, they get in front of the dragon and everyone stands behind them. You guys stand behind the tamer at all times in this battle, and it'll start walking into the tamer, and the tamer will hold its, it'll slow it down, and you don't have, the tamer can't get enough weight to keep the dragon from going, but you basically just the tamer will wall the dragon, and then either the priest, preferably the priest, or the ranger will jump in with the tamer, and they'll switch the wall, and the tamer will get off the wall, and then everyone will be by the tamer, and at this point the dragon will be walking towards its target, and the priest will be walling it. And then the priest will get out of the way, and it'll attack its target. There's always a chance that it will do that wave buff. I call it the wave debuff, the no revive for 30 seconds. By the way, that debuff can't be removed. It can't be prevented, can't be removed. It'll always go on you until it wears off. So it'll attack its target, and then it will attack the priest next. It'll always attack whoever was walling it, whoever's closest. So that's now the reason why we had the priest jump in and the tamer get away is because that debuff not only makes it so you can't revive for 30 seconds, but it will lower your attack power -2, and the tamer, it's really annoying to have to keep rebuffing the tamer like twice or whatever to get it back to +2 attack power. And these Japanese players are so extreme and all this that they do all these extra different extreme measures to maximize efficiency and damage over time. So instead of just like rebuffing it like any logical person would do, they got to have the most, one of the most important roles, jump into the line of fire and wall the dragon, and and risk getting waved with their pants down. And I don't really agree with this strategy or tactic, but I've had to get used to it recently. But I've got it down, and I really don't like it. It's really dangerous, but basically the priest takes that debuff instead, since you don't have to worry about the priest attacking. And some elite groups have the priest use a spear the whole time and attack the dragon with the spear. Just do a little bit more damage to make the fight go like 5 seconds faster. But anyway, so if the priest can't do the wall, then the ranger usually does it. And if they can't do it, then the magic warrior does it. And then if any of them can't do it, then nobody does it. So, but ever since the new coin boss came out, there's a new necklace that makes it so there's a chance that you can't have your attack power lowered. And if you can get that effect to 100% to make you completely immune to having your attack power lowered. So in theory, the tamers could just put that necklace on and not have anyone switch wall, and they could wall the whole time, and they can even HP link with someone like a priest, and they won't even have to guard the wave. Like, they could just take, except for the dragon cannon and tail and all that, they could just face tank the wall. Let's face tank the wave debuff attack with HP link, and they won't even get their attack power lowered. And I think the battle will go faster. But the thing with this game is the necklace slots is very competitive. You know, between Gold Rosary and the dragon accessory, which you know, you take minus whatever 30 something damage less. Let me double check that number really quick. Dragon accessory. I think it's minus 30. Yeah, my damage taken, reduced damage taken plus 30. And I have 2 different ones. Actually, I have 3 different. Yeah, I have 2 maxed out attack power ones. Just kind of flexing right there. I don't need that second attack power one, but I skip it for fun. So yeah, I don't think the elite pros are going to do that strategy and just use that new necklace, because, you know, mainly because they lose that attack power, the attack power effects on the necklace, and so even though they're not losing the attack buff all the time, they're technically losing that extra little attack power on their necklace just to use a different necklace. But whatever, we'll see. I've seen one video of a hunting group doing that. But anyway, let's talk about by the way, the same Magic Warrior does the same thing. You know, the darkness shot to reduce the light resistance and gives everyone extra light damage, and Ranger does the breath buff. Priest, stay alive. Tamer, just go ham and wall. Now let's talk about if you get the dragon by yourself. The worst possible first attack from the dragon when the battle starts is probably fireballs. That attack goes really quick. It's a long animation, but the time, like the part where you get attacked is like halfway through the animation, and I think if he starts up with fireballs, unless you like get it right down to the very split second you can actually do something, you might be able to survive. I don't know. It's very rare. I don't think he's ever done that to me. Started with fireballs, but I can't remember. But now another bad thing he could do is the tail swipe as the first move. If he does that, you just have barely enough time to cancel your auto revive and run away. And he's done that to me several times, and I've lived. What else? Now, the breath buff, the breath debuff, the breath attack. That one, it's also like one I'm kind of not sure if you could survive if he starts off with that one. Unless you get 1 HP thing to go off, you're good. But then, yeah, you're gonna get cursed if you don't have 100% curse guard. But now, similar to the mole, you want to stay close to the dragon, and make him do all those long animation attacks instead of just running up to you and taking a chomp out of you, taking a bite out of you, and one-shotting you when you're low on health from the auto revive. And also with the dragon, it's very important to keep up appearances and make it look like you know what you're doing, and just stand still and don't stand too close to him, because he might get you with a tail if the timing is bad with your death buff wearing off. And but yeah, other than that, there's not really much to say. Just have around like 710 plus agility should be fine. And and I forgot to mention this earlier with other beasts. Like you could try and heal yourself. Like with the ghost, you could definitely heal yourself and put buffs on and then not die again or at all. Mole, you should definitely try and heal yourself. Even though you're using the spear, you can still heal yourself for quite a bit. And sometimes you'll proc the Care Prayer, which is the heal buff, magic mending buff. You could even proc auto revive from an auto revive and just buff yourself up. And then also make sure to if you do any other skill besides auto revive while you're auto revive spamming in between, like if you get that one turn where you can do something, after you do whatever you do, like whatever buff you do, go back and do auto revive even before you're dead, just to make sure that the cursor will be on auto revive the next time you die and get up. So try to like put that super 1 HP buff on you, Alma Mater or whatever. Try to survive as long as you can. But with the dragon, it's next to impossible to survive all of his attacks. Like if he hits you with breath, you're most likely dead. If he hits you with tail, you're probably dead. But you can get out of the way of that. Yeah. That's pretty much all I could say about that. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to mention the wind spell. If you on the priest, if you have the magic barrier ×2 and enough spell damage reduction, you could survive that no matter what. But if you're a tamer or someone that can't use a shield, make sure to have spell damage reduction in your jacket and the magic barrier ×2 buff, purple buff, and guard, and you should be able to survive the wind skill based on how much HP you have. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for all three beasts, explaining all the fights in detail. I apologize once again for not being able to show you any footage. It's either I blow a bunch of gold to get a cell, ghost, mole, and dragon, and I could sell the 30 big cells back and get my gold back, but getting 3 different protection infusers from protect coins and 5 big cells each, that's like around 1 million gold for that. So I'll lose 1 million gold, and either that or I get lucky and find a dragon with the party on server 21 or 22 with the recording icon on. I don't feel like doing either of those because I've already done it once for a video I had deletes, and I thought, I'm pretty good at hunting. I'm good at hunting, but it's just, I think it'd be better, more beneficial to you guys to see pro Japanese players fight a ghost, mole, and a dragon. So I'll link 3 different videos in the description. You can watch them, and all the stuff I just explained, you'll see it in action. So thank you for sitting through this long video. I'm sorry I had to remake this, but I appreciate anyone that sat through it, and I really hope you learned something. I think this video is a lot better than the original video, even without the footage, because I got a lot more knowledge since I've been hunting again for the past month, and the meta has changed, and I'm up to date now. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.